Okay, I got volume. Everything's turned on. Hello, everybody in chat. Am I being heard? Sound going out? Do I sound okay? My meter says that there's sound going out, but I don't know if there really is. Kind of doubtful on that one. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me if there's audio. I think there is, but you can never tell from one day to the next if this thing works like it's supposed to. All right, I gotta turn something off. Goodbye. There. Now we got it working right. So how's everybody doing today? Hello, Ski Man. Be watching but not chatting. My cell phone needs a charge. That's fine. You sound good. All right, thank you, William. So just give me a second. I need to go through all my notes that I've written down and try to get them in some kind of a organized fashion. And hello to everybody. Welcome to Rick's Tech Pub on a Monday, November 17th. It's another wonderful sunny day here, but it's in the 30s. I think the last I saw it was oh, now I gotta go through my what is it? 39 degrees today. With a little bit of a breeze, not much, but it is enough to make you think twice of wanting to go outside and just hang outside for an hour or two. You really won't want to do that. A little chilly today. And let me get back to OBS. Don't need no stinking notes. You don't want me using notes, huh, Jeff? Okay. Kind of hard for me to remember everything if I don't. I got that 2-second memory problem, so. He had trouble logging into Google Sites Firefox for. Oh, really? Firefox now blocks all cookies automatically unless you stop it. Well, I'm glad you guys are on top of the news better than I am. I didn't know that. Matthew Barnes. Hello, Matthew. Hello, Ken. William came in third. No, hello, Ken. I was gonna say hello to you in the chat earlier, Ken, but I was kind of busy at the moment. I had my phone ringing just as I was typing that. I had someone knocking on my door, and I had somebody here, so I was kind of busy at the moment, and I just had that half second to say hello, Darren. Then I had to go answer the door, and I never did get back here to say hello to everybody else. So I got caught up in the middle of trying to deal with everybody and didn't get back to what I was wanting to do. Had intentions on it, but I just never got to it. Hope you're feeling better, William. I think you were said the other day or last night that you were having problems with headaches. That's never fun to deal with. I don't like headaches, especially when they get to migraines. But yeah, sometimes the better thing to do is just turn your bedroom into a dark room, cover up your windows so no light gets in, shut your door, just hide underneath the blankets for 4 or 5 hours, live in darkness, and eventually that headache will go away with a bunch of Tylenol. I don't have headaches that bad. I usually get a little tingling of a headache, but it's nothing for me to worry about. I don't really get really bad migraines, debilitating migraines, and I know a lot of people in my building, when they get a headache, they're done for at least 2 days. They can't do anything. It's even speaking. They can't do that. You just have to hide in the darkness for 2 days and hope the headache goes away. If on the 3rd day, then they're going to the hospital and they get a shot, and yeah, the headache goes away, but they have to go through some pain to get that. Usually it's a shot in the hind end. But I hope you're feeling better today is what I'm trying to get at. So I don't know if any of you have been. Oh, there goes William, starting right off with what I was wanting to talk about. AI is the world, really, or just something created by a computer on some alien world that is also a program running on another computer? Uh, now, that's kind of what I was going to talk about today is AI. And a bunch of other Microsoft news that get, oh, maybe I can't find it. No, I can't. No, I thought I wrote it down. I guess I didn't. What the hell is it? I haven't played with AIs, but I was watching last night because YouTube or Zoom kind of got quiet for a half hour or so, and I saw there was a 12-minute video on AI called Grok. They're up to Grok 4, Grok. Um, Elon Musk says he made it. I don't know. I think he does with everything else that he does. He steals those plans and ideas from somebody else, and then he calls it his. I don't know the full story on that, so I'm not gonna make stories that are too far out of hand yet. That's something that he stole from somebody else. Okay, I got a piece of paper that's missing. Well, there was a thing called something, and now I can't find it. But anyhow, yes, the future. Oh, I know what I wanted to get to. There's a DOS attack going on in Microsoft right now that's hitting Azure. And I tell you what, that is really getting nasty. It took, I don't know, 15,000. Here we are. Oh, there's my other note for, okay, I just had to flip the paper over. DDoS attack, distributed denial attack going on now. The attack is using 500,000 different IP addresses hitting Microsoft Azure services. It is mitigated, so most of us won't see it. That just means every time it makes an attack, Microsoft blocks it. So the problem is, if you have any software or hardware like routers or modems that are out of date, aka my router, you do have a slight bit of a chance of getting attacked. So I need to somehow order and get a new router here pretty quick, which I've been meaning to do. I just haven't gotten the okay to doing that yet. But yes, that is the biggest news so far today that I know of. Well, one of the biggest news is the DDoS attack. It's a distributed denial of service. I'm sure a lot of you knew that, but I always forget those words: a distributed denial of services. So that's what I know on that. And here's the biggest thing that's coming out. It's kind of goes along with AI because it's going to work along with AI. Microsoft, in their ultimate wisdom, or no wisdom at all, however you want to think of it, they are going to be building an agentic OS. If you want to know what agentic OS means, please go look it up on the internet. I didn't write my notes down to tell you what it is. But basically, it's for businesses, and instead of you making any of the decisions, well, you tell agentic or the AI what you want to have done, how you want it done, and the agentic OS is going to do everything for you. Pretty much, people are not going to be able to think for themselves anymore. AI and this agentic OS are going to do it for you. And from my understanding, unless I'm wrong, and someone please correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but I think they're just going to go for businesses, people that are in the whatever kind of business they're doing, is what the agentic OS is going to go after. And agentic is AGENTIC. Just type into Google what is agentic OS, and hopefully it'll give you the same answer it gave me. Is that it's oh Christ. I am gonna have to go back and look this up. Because now I can't remember. Here we are. An agentic OS is a new operating system concept where the AI can act independently, make decisions, and pursue goals without constant human instruction. That right there, I'm not liking. Without constant human instruction. It is an evolution of operating system that integrates AI agents to productivity, manage tasks, manage data, and achieve outcomes, aiming to transform the user experience from a set of applications into more intelligent, autonomous, and continuously learning system. Okay. More information on what an agentic OS is. Effectively, an agentic AI is one that can run automatically without the need to check back in on each step of the process. Microsoft says it is making every Windows 11 PC an AI PC with a dizzying array of Copilot upgrades, including voice activation. Oh goodness, I just. So yeah, they're taking the ability for us for. I think this is going again for businesses, but it does say it's going through every computer with making every Windows PC, 11 PC an AI PC with a dizzying array of Copilot upgrades. So then, where does the agentic OS come in from? This kind of goes along with the Windows being able to repair itself. Now we got AI, this agentic, it's going to make decisions along with AI, and I suppose it's to make productivity a little faster. So you don't have to stop and sit there and think, well, what's the next step? What should I do next? The agentic and the AI will kind of guide you through it. So if you get stumped, it'll tell you how to get around that and to keep on going. It's to keep, I would imagine, is to keep productivity going at a more efficient level. That's kind of what I think of it is. Again, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm way off, but from what I'm reading, that's kind of sounds like what it's doing, what they're going to do. So, you know, that's kind of what they're going for. They're going to start building an agentic OS along with AI. When, they haven't exactly said, but they get an example of what an agentic system is. An agentic AI system can optimize employee. Yeah, see, this is for work-related people. This won't really bother us, I don't. But they are saying they're going to build it with every PC, Windows 11. But down here it says the optimize employees' shift schedules. If an employee is off sick, the agent can communicate with other employees and readjust the schedule while still meeting project resources and time requirements. I can see that being a hot pile of garbage. I can see that going bad really quick. I'll get back to chat here, see what you guys are saying, see what your thoughts are on this. I don't know. Do you guys agree with the Gentic going into the workplace and making decisions for you, where you can't think for yourself? I don't know. If they have everything worked out right, um, yeah, it should work. But knowing Microsoft and the way they build things, it's gonna be a horrible mess for a while. Um, that's going bad really quick. Yeah. You missed Doug going live at 11 a.m. Yeah, I don't know when he's gonna get back to that, Tim. Um, he always says he's going to, and I believe at some point he will, but not in the near future. I think he's got too many other things on his plate. He's got work to do, and apparently work with him has really added up quick lately. So he's kind of busy. So when he gets work that's not so much, when he's not so busy and he gets things in his head straightened out as to when he actually wants to go back to 5 days or 6 days a week, he'll do that. But for right now, I think we're just gonna have to stick to Saturdays until he gets things straightened out, and when he's ready in his head to go back to 6 days a week, he'll do it at some point. But don't count on it in the near future. I don't think he's going to be doing this anytime this year or for the first half of next year. I really don't see him coming back to 6 days a week. He might surprise me, and maybe in a month or two he might start doing it again. But as busy as he's getting, I kind of doubt it for right now. But yeah, I'd like to see him back to 6 days a week too. But he's got other things he wants to do, and that's fine. If he wants to do other things, he can. Laughing at Tim Tech, by the way. When is coming back to... Official Tim Tech says, when is coming back to Fortnite? I think you're missing a few words there, Tim. I'm not understanding that. When is coming back to Fortnite? What is coming back to Fortnite? Who? Who is he? Name. Doug. I don't think he is. I think Doug is done with Fortnite. I think when he abruptly ended everything with Fortnite, I think that's the last time he wanted to go back to Fortnite. He was starting to have issues and he was starting to get busy. I don't exactly know what the real reason is. I'm just kind of guessing that he wanted to do something different and maybe things weren't going so well for him on Fortnite. I don't know what his real reason is. It's just my assumptions, the way I saw things going. Things were starting to not go so well, so I think he pulled himself off of that and decided to do something different for a while. At least that's not my opinion. I could be wrong, but I just think I think he got tired of it. And then work started picking up, and then he started doing the live streams, so he was adding too much to his plate, and I think he realized that, and he just said, I've got to back away from some of this stuff. I got to start backing down some of the things I'm doing, because to be honest with you guys, he was starting to get a little bit too busy, and I was starting to wonder when he was going to start dropping things, and he did. He needs to pay attention to work, so he gets a paycheck. That's what he wants to do. And I think it's a good thing he's doing that. And if and when he wants to get back to doing the live streams more often, let him make that decision. Don't start bugging him. Say, hey, Doug, I want you back to doing... That's his decision. If he wants to do it, he will. If he doesn't, then let it go. It's just something he doesn't want to do anymore. But I think at some point, he will come back. It's just not... I don't think this year. I don't think for the first half of next year. I don't think he will. He's just got a lot of things he wants to do and a lot of things he wants to do differently. So instead of everybody attacking him and giving him all a bunch of ideas and getting him all confused on what he's already got in his head, He's going off on his own saying, I'm going to do it my way, and this is what I'm going to do for now. That's my opinion. And like I said, I could be wrong, but from what I've heard him say, he's wanting to do more work and do something he's getting paid for rather than doing live streams and Fortnite. Kind of had a feeling a while ago that was going to end. You know, a long time ago, I was thinking, Doug, how long are you going to keep on that? I was thinking to myself, I think, Doug, how long are you going to keep doing this? You're doing a lot more than I'd want to do. And shortly after that, he started dropping things. The first thing that went is Fortnite. Second thing that went was the 6 days of doing live streams. And then everything else he was doing, he just dropped because he wants to pay attention to his clients. So you want me to end my nightly streams? Oh, no, Ken, no. Do not start ending your live streams. That would be a big mistake. At least in my opinion, it would be. It kind of gives me something to do at night. Instead of just sitting here in front of my computer, just kind of just going over the same things I've gone over 15 times. So it does give me something to do. I do like the live streams. It's just, at times it gets a little quiet. So I have to go find something else to do until people start interacting again. It's nothing against you, nothing against anybody. It's just, like I said the other day, I hate peace and quiet. It bothers the living out of me. But no, don't stop doing your live streams, Ken. That would be a big mistake. In my opinion. You can ask everybody else, but I think that'd be a big mistake for you to stop doing your live streams. And same thing with me, if I were to stop doing my live streams at this point, I think that'd be a dreadful mistake, even though I don't get a lot of viewers, I don't get a lot of comments. I'm trying not to let that disappoint me. So I keep going. I keep marching forward. Even though there's really nobody that pays attention to my videos anymore except for you guys, and I'm very thankful that you do. For the people that show up every time I do a live stream, anybody that leaves a comment, I do greatly appreciate it. I just hope someday it kind of picks up from... Well, let's check to see how many people we got here today. Uh-oh. Okay, concurrent viewers, we got 7. Someday I'd like that to get up to 15, 20 people. I am slowly getting up there. I was like at 4 people, and now I'm up to 7 today, so... Slow little improvements is better than nothing. That's the way I look at it, so... Okay. I hate this studio. It is so far behind. Okay, I see good ideas. Can love that idea. Okay, what is... I have thought about changing the time, but so far say that again with the impression that was cool. No, thank you. I'm not doing that again. No. Wish he'd go live earlier, or like at 6 or 8:30 or 8. Tim, who are you talking about that you wish he'd go earlier? Like, you're talking about Ken? I think that's about the only time he can do it. He's tried fluctuating his time schedules, and every time he goes earlier than the later, it's a time thing. I think where he's got it now is where it needs to stay. I know for some people it doesn't work, but to be honest with you, kind of with me, it works perfectly because that lines up right to when I want to go to bed, which is 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:15. I really can't nowadays stay awake longer than about 1:15, 1:30. I'm just gonna... I'll do what William's doing. He's sitting there. He's just kind of just his head pretty much falls over because he falls asleep. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, or 1:15, or maybe 1:30, if I make it that far, I'm just kind of trying to fight to try to keep my eyes open. So the 2.5 hours being on Zoom at night and the YouTube at 9 kind of lines up with when I go to bed, which is 1:30, maybe quarter to 2 in the morning. So it works for me, but I know with a lot of people, they'd like him to be earlier or later. The problem is it throws everybody else's schedule off. And to be honest with you, where he's got it now works pretty good. I think he's got a pretty good system where he's got it now. If he changes things, I think everybody's going to think, well, that's not good. People later, on the other side of the planet, it's not going to work for them because they're at work or they're sleeping. So, kind of like with me, I think where I've got my live stream starting at 2 p.m. kind of works a little better. 2 p.m. seems to work okay. I know I'm doing these live streams right in the middle of everybody's workday, in the United States. I don't know about the other side of the planet, where Darren lives, like right about now, he's probably sleeping. But I have thought about changing the time on mine, but then again, I throw everybody's schedule. See, that's the problem. When you have your live streams at a certain schedule, for as long as Ken and I have, I've been doing mine for live streams for God knows how long. Ken's been doing his for a couple of years. It gets grounded in everybody's head that they know Ken starts at 9 o'clock at night, and then at Zoom and YouTube at 9 o'clock his time. I think everybody's gotten used to it. So if he starts changing everything, that's going to throw off everybody's schedule. It kind of would throw mine off because like I said, it kind of lines up to when I go to bed, the 2.5 hours that I'm on Zoom at night. At 1 o'clock or 1:30, I say goodnight and I go to bed. So it works for me. I'll be getting off from work at 2 p.m., but I'm off today. Yeah, you're off work today, huh? So time change on my live streams or no? Ken, I seriously wouldn't. I'd keep it where it's at. I know, like I said, I know that makes it inconvenient for probably a few other people in the world, but I personally like it where it's at. It, like I said, it works with my schedule. Is to when I go to bed, I get off Zoom and I just go from here into bed. Or every once in a while, I'll get out of bed and I'll watch something on YouTube for a while. But for the most part, at 1 or 1:15 in the morning, I usually go to bed. So it works for me. But I'd personally I'd keep it where it's at. That's my advice. And Tuesday's your last day at work for a while. Hello, Brian. Because I'm getting surgery on Wednesday at 8 a.m. I'm getting an extraction done with my dent. Ouch! Ow. Oh, Tim, I feel the pain you're going to have. Ow. That makes me say ow just thinking of that. You're getting a tooth yanked. People say that's painless. You don't feel anything. When I got this tooth pulled, that wasn't the case. I felt a lot of it. And I just kept telling him this hurts to stop or that hurt, and he just kept going and just snapped the tooth out of there, and oh my God, that hurt. He didn't have enough Novocaine or something in there. It just, oh my God. So I hope everything goes good for you, Tim. But tooth extraction, I've heard a lot of people complain about it because dentists they just get in there, twist, and then they just yank it. Except for the dentist that I had, the last one he did, he just kind of sat there, gently wiggled it, and kind of pulled, and then at the last second, he just ripped it out of there. Oh. So I hope it goes good for you, Tim. I hope I hope it goes good. But it didn't for me when I had mine. It was really painful. And the smart ass dentist says, "Oh, that kind of crackling or crunching you're hearing, that's normal. When they extract the tooth and you hear this grinding and crunching and popping, that's normal." I said, "Yeah, it's your root of your tooth letting go of where it was sitting." Oh, and one more note on the Windows stuff, and then I'll stop talking about it. The future of tech, the future of technology, is where they plan on going from now on. Anything you do, say, or whatever you're doing, the future of tech will go through a web browser. The OS will be irrelevant. And I got a bunch of like 4 or 5 question marks behind it because that doesn't make any sense to me. So I guess everything you're gonna do through the web, through a browser, and you're just gonna leave the OS itself alone. What? Anybody that wants to follow up on that, and I kind of hope a few people do, is go to Windows Computer and Technology. He made that video. He made a lot of videos today. That's why all these notes are coming out. Especially that one with the DDoS attack that's hitting Azure right now, or it was 2 hours ago when he came out with that video. I think they've got that problem pretty well licked, and they've got it mitigated, so hopefully the rest of us won't get infected or get bothered by it. But it sounds like if they lose control of it and it leaves Azure, it'll just go nationwide. Any router, any modem it can find is unprotected or out of date, aka mine. My router hasn't gotten updates for at least over almost 2 years because it's too old to get updates. So I need to update or need to get a new router. It's just, yeah, I'll get one eventually. I gotta start looking into that. Welcome, Ken. Oh shoot, thanks for the reminder, BRB. What did you remind him of, Tim? Oh, you're getting your wisdom tooth. Ouch. Well, like I said, I hope yours goes better than mine, because when I had my wisdom teeth pulled, mine were impacted. They were into my jaw. So they literally had to dig them out, twist, pull, and yank. Literally till he was pulling my head off the pillow. He was pulling on that wisdom tooth that hard. He was lifting my head up off the pillow. He'd put his hand on my forehead to keep my head on the pillow and just snap it out of there, but mine were not easy to get out. He said normally they're not that tough, so I think yours will be easier. Yours are probably sitting on top, so he'll just go in there and twist and pull them out, but mine he had to dig out. That was many years ago. That was way back when I lived in Litchfield. I think I was in 10th grade. Yeah, I think I was in 10th grade, and I had my wisdom teeth pulled. It's when we were living in Litchfield, Minnesota. I had to get my wisdom teeth pulled. Not a fun time. Not fun. Oh yeah, use a hammer. Ouch. I told it. I this is kind of a off topic, but um, there was a kid that I knew when I was riding the school buses between Nisswa and going to Brainerd. Um, there was one of the kids that rode the bus, and he was always one that sat behind me. He had these 2 teeth that were really wide, and they stuck out way out to here. His 2 buck teeth were just big, and they hung out quite a bit. And one day I just kind of got stupid. I shouldn't have said it, but I did. Paid the price for asking him, because of what he did to me afterwards. And I told him, you ever feel like you should take a hammer and just take those 2 buck teeth and just knock them out? It's like, knock them out. And he took my head, bam, up against the window on the school bus. And he said, how about that knock you out? I said, no. Then the bus driver looked at me, stop. And the bus driver told me, don't be talking to people like that. It's like, well, I won't. I just wanted to ask the question. Boy, I had a headache for the rest of the night. That hurt. Oh, Tim, you made a video the other day. I can't remember who you said you were having problems with again. And I didn't watch that video, but I saw the title of it. Do you ever get that sorted? Think you were having problems with your ISP or something again? Spectrum. Did you get that problem figured out? I know you were having problems with it again. Good. Glad you did. Good. Tim. Because Tim had that video the other day. He was having problems with his ISP again. It looks like he was having problems with Spectrum. Wait there. Can't talk. It's fixed now, I think. Yeah, that's about all you can do is just see how it works for a while and see how it goes. I haven't really had problems with my network as far as my ISP. Every once in a while, it shuts off at the middle of the night. You know, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm just barely hanging on to consciousness. I'll be watching something like Windows Weekly or something, and all of a sudden, boom, no more internet. Because sometimes it just shuts off for an hour or two, then it comes back. But by the time it comes back, I'm sleeping. So I wake up in the next morning. It's like, well, is my internet back? And with one eye open, I get out of bed and I look and I don't see the globe. I see the monitor signal. So my internet came back. That happened, a month or two ago? At 1:30 or 1:45 in the morning, and I was watching something on YouTube, and all of a sudden, just boom. What? Because I saw that spinning white circle. It's like, what the hell happened? It's like, oh, don't tell me I lost my internet. And I look over and I see the globe. It's like, yep, I did. Mine does that sometimes at night. Now, I'm not sure if it was the router or if my ISP had something to do with it. I do not know. I just know I need to upgrade my equipment. I need, except for the modem, I can't touch that. That's my ISP that's got us on DSL. But my Rota, I need to buy a new one. It's just I don't want to spend a lot of money for it. I'm not gonna go and buy one of those $200 routers. That just won't fly with somebody. Somebody sees that I buy that, and I say, "What are you buying that for?" Because I need one. Mine doesn't get updates. Mine's 2 years old. It's been out of date for over a year. So I really, 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 really need to one of these days get on Amazon and start picking at routers. Because that one has no protection anymore. Doesn't get updates. It doesn't have the all the basic security stuff in that router is shut off because it doesn't get updates. And I looked at it quite a while ago. There's nothing protecting it anymore. So if something wanted to hit me, and with this DDoS attack, if it does go worldwide or nationwide, it will be looking for routers like mine that have no protection and no way of stopping it from getting in. I don't think they'll go that far, but just on the chance that it does, yeah, I need to get a new router. Just don't want to spend the money on one. I know they can. I know they can be expensive. You can get the cheap ones, but no, I wouldn't do that. I'm looking between 120 to about 140. That's kind of my price range. I won't go to the 200, 225, 230. That's more than I want to spend. But up to 140, maybe a little bit more than that, but I don't see the reason for me to get those 4 or 5 antenna routers that are $200, $300. I don't see a reason to do that for the small apartment. So I can do fine with another Netgear router, Nighthawk Netgear, if they make them anymore. Jeff Raymond, will your ISP provide a router? I believe they can, but I don't want them to, because then I'm locked out of changing anything. It'll be they make the changes. I won't. So no, I don't want to go through the ISP. Yes, I could if I wanted to, but no, because they'll lock me out of it. Because I'll ask them, can I make any changes? Like, nope. This is the way it's set up. This is the way it's going to stay, and you can't do anything. No, I don't like that. So if it comes down to it, if I have to at some point, I guess, yeah, I'll have to go through them, but they lock down those routers and modems so hard that, I mean, they're pretty much the ones at the office when the guy plugs it in. At the office, they're the ones that turn the router on. You can plug it in, but it won't power on until that gets connected to the IPS's network, and through the network, they turn the router on. That's what they did with this modem. He plugged it in. He said, "Now I gotta wait for him to turn it on." So what do you mean you've got to wait? Well, they at the office, they're the ones that turn the modem on. And he was just about to call him, and all of a sudden it turned on, and he saw it up on my screen. It's like, okay, it turned on, but no, actually, no. I said that wrong. He got here, he plugged it in, he got the wire all plugged into the phone jack. Then he called the ISP, told him what apartment number he was at, gave him the number off the bottom of the modem, and he said he's just sitting here waiting for a connection. And he said they've got to turn it on because there are no green lights or anything. And he asked him, well, can you first turn it on and then connect me up to the IP address? I know technically they're not supposed to do it that way, but I guess my ISP does. And that's why I don't want a router from them, because they control it, they turn it on and off. So it was kind of interesting when they set up my modem. He got on the phone, they had to go through step by step as to how to turn the thing on. The 3-step process, and then they had to deliver the IP address to it. Then they had to configure it. It was about a 6-step process, which only take about, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. And then he said, okay, you're good to go. Then I had internet, and it's been working ever since then. You might want to check if there is a driver update or Intel support. 434 down and 236 up. Yeah, I don't even get those kind of numbers. I think I've told you guys my numbers before, and they're not good. And they're far less worse than what they were a couple of months ago. I think on upload I get maybe 8. Download is maybe 15. Maybe. On a good day it's 15. But most of the time it isn't. See, I won't get a Walmart router. No. No, I won't do a Walmart router. You couldn't pay me to take one of their routers. I've done that in the past, and I won't make that mistake again. What package are you paying for? 100 down, 100 up, which is I'm not even getting that. And they can't prorate it at this point because I've asked them to change it because that's not what I'm getting. Can you get me down to like 20, and what I'm getting is 50, maybe 20 upload and maybe 10 to 15 in download. So why am I paying for 100 up and 100 down? I'm not even close to it. Oh, because someday you will be. Someday we will change it, and you will be getting 100 up and 100 up and 100 down. But for right now, you're not getting that. So I'm only paying what? I get my CTC bill or my, yes, these guys. Let's think I'm only paying 20. Can't remember what I'm paying. I know it's not that much. $25.95. That's all I'm paying. And I'm only paying that because they know they can't deliver the 100 up and the 100 down, which would be 100 some bucks a month. They're very expensive here. Very expensive. And I think the price has gone up since then. I think. But that's what I'm paying now. And if I want to get faster speeds and more delivered speed, then I got to pay the price for it. So it works. You might want to. Yeah, but that's that. I've had a tech out here before. That's all they're gonna give us. They've throttled us down because Tim. The reason they did that, we can't really go any faster than that because they need to change the wires. If they were to increase the speed, we would just burn up the wires. That's what we were starting to do with the coax cable, the high-speed internet. We were starting to burn up the wires because there was so much traffic going in and out so quickly that the wires themselves were actually starting to get warm. So they said we have to knock them down to DSL and then knock them down to a certain speed to where it won't take their whatever they have in the storage room to control the DSL so it doesn't get so hot and shut off or burn up. Because we have so many people here on the internet. I mean, we got phones, we got tablets, we got iPhones, we got Androids, we've got desktops, we got laptops, IoTs all over the building. There's IoT on every single floor of this building. Somebody's got some kind of an IoT device. There's 3 people on my wing on my floor. The gal across the hallway, she's got one. The guy down from there, Gary, he's got one. And the people at the end of the hall down by the exit, by the stairs, they've got an IoT device. So they had to throttle us all down so they don't burn up the wires. And you can literally burn up the wires if there's too much traffic going through it and it can't handle the speed or the load. Those wires will actually get warm. And that's what was happening with the coax high-speed internet. It couldn't handle it anymore. We were literally burning up the wires. So they had to put us on DSL, and then they had to clock us down so that the telephone wires in this building don't burn up. It's kind of sad that they had to do that, but that's what the guy told me. He said we had to clock you down so that you don't burn up the wires in the building. Because eventually it gets overloaded and it just shuts off. Then they have to come back over here and reset everything and then try again. So they just clocked us down. They haven't had a problem with it since. It'd be a big undertaking to replace the entire. Yeah, that's why they're not doing. Eventually, Jeff, they will. CTC wants to do that. They want to come here, and they said, yeah, it would take quite a while. But they would do it in stages. I think they do one first floor through third, get that all tied up and whatever, and then go from 4th to 6th and from 6th to 9th, and they'd slowly work their way up. But yeah, it'll take, if they do that. See, they were getting blocked by Shannon. Shannon didn't want them to change the wires in this building. She actually literally said, these people in this building, they can live with the internet they have. As crappy it is, they can live with it. You are not coming in this building and changing every single wire. Well, Shannon's not here anymore, so CTC might take another attack at it and say, you want us to come in and upgrade the wiring so people can get their 500 meg up and 500 down? probably will be denied again because that's going to cost a lot of money. That HRA just, they won't pay it. They'd have to get one hell of a sweet deal to allow them to upgrade our wiring. But until then, we're stuck with what we've got. And it does work. We just have quirks every now and then. To see who's. Yeah, she's not here, but I think the people that replaced her got Shannon's notes. And I think one of her things that she said is, it's been grandfathered, or however you do that, it's been written in stone or cement that the upgrades in this building will never happen. It's just, she said it's not cost effective. I don't know why she said that, but she said upgrading the building is just not cost effective. Not as old as this building is. Its opening day, its open house was in 1972. Why would you really want to take a building that old? And seeing what they're doing is they're upgrading the newer buildings, but a building this old. Same thing with the high school. The high school is about 1 or 2 years older than this building. They're not upgrading the high school either. It's just too old of a building. They're not going to put their brand new fancy wires into a building that's, what, 40 some years old. They're just not going to do it. So they've upgraded the high school as best they can, and that's as far as they went. They can't really go any further because of the age of the building. It's that building just won't let them. Same problem with this building. This building really won't allow them without restructuring everything. They really can't upgrade the building. They found that out the hard way. The wires can't be pulled because they were grandfathered in when Bresnan was running the cable and internet. And that was way, way before Charter got here. Bresnan, when they had the wires put in, when the building was built, they grandfathered those wires in, meaning they cannot legally be removed. And they cannot be, how'd they word it? They cannot be changed, altered, or removed. And they can't be added to either, which means you can't run a new line of wires right next to it. That's in the writing. It cannot be changed, altered, or added to. We've got what we've got for the rest of our lives. It's just, unless some miracle happens and they can get around that for what Bresnan did back in the 70s, yeah, we can get all new internet system in the building, but one of the workers from CTC told me the reason they can't do that is Bresnan grandfathered those wires in. All the networking that was in this building when Bresnan added it when this building was being built, for some stupid reason, they put a, whatever you call it, that the wires and the networking that's in the building when it was built cannot be changed, altered, or switched, or added to. So they can't run new lines in the building. They'd have to take the old lines out first. They can't do that. So unless they can get around that snafu, we're kind of stuck with what we've got. If we want better internet, faster internet, move. And I am thinking about doing that next year or the year after. I'm not going to stay here till I die, so I'm thinking the next year or two, I'm going to start looking for a different place to live that, I don't know. Yeah, that's just kind of what I just said. I should move. I do plan on it. I don't know, I'm paying $500 some for this apartment. Why would I want to pay another $500 more for a one bedroom? Because all one bedrooms are running to rent are about $900 to $1,100 for a one bedroom. And I'm paying $502 here. Why would I want to go pay $1,000 and $1,100 for a one bedroom apartment? That just doesn't make any sense. Plus, you have to pay electric and all the other utility bills that come with those apartments. See, we don't pay electricity here. We don't pay for water. We don't pay for gas. We just pay our rent. HRA pays for everything else. Then you go across the bridge to the Mississippi Terrace. You pay your rent, you pay your cable, and you also pay your electric bill. We don't have an electric bill here. That's why it's kind of convenient staying here. We don't really have any high bills. We pay our rent, and that's all we pay. Faster speeds, they get gig speeds. Sorry for yawning. I wouldn't want gig speeds. Around here, that's just way too expensive. They would on purposely overcharge us for the gig speeds. Get 1 gig, 2 gigs. You have $300 you want to pay for that? Because that's what they'll charge you up here for getting into the gigs. It's $300 and up. $350, $360, $390. It's very expensive here. And if you want to go even faster than that and get the those faster Ethernet lines, and I can't think of them, they're made out of glass. That's what they're basing their prices off of. That's why it's going to be so expensive, because that's what they'd have to put into this building, and they're just not going to do it. But I really don't need gig speeds. I really don't need any. I don't do anything that's requires gig speeds. I'd like to get maybe 500 gig. Or 500 meg, I mean. Not 500 gig. Jesus Christ. I'd like 500 meg. I'd like to get up to that. That to me would be fast enough. I don't think I'd really enjoy the 1 gig. I really don't think I'd get an advantage out of it. Because what would I get for faster speeds? Fiber optic. Yeah, that's what it is. I haven't messed with fiber optic for a while, so I forgot the name of it. And it's you gotta be careful how you handle fiber optic, because you can break it. I've talked to Bob, and he's done it plenty of times. He's had to send a roll of fiber optic back to the company because it fell off the shelf or whatever, and it just, all the whatever in it shattered. Because he opened the box, he put the tester at one end, went to the other end. There was no more signal going through, so it fell off that shelf, hit the concrete floor. He broke it. So yeah, I don't think I'd like gig speeds. I'd like to get up to 500 meg. To be honest with you guys, that's fast enough for me for what I do. What would I need 1 gig for? Besides paying the higher price. To me, I'd like to maybe get up to 500 meg and keep it. I'd call it good. But I'm going to call it good on this live stream, guys. I made it 1 hour, and I wasn't really intending on it, but you guys kept asking questions, and I do like that. It's been fun. But I've got to say goodbye, guys. I got other things to do. I've got phone calls I got to make. I've got people I've got to talk to, and emails to get out. So, go for this snafu again. So today is Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. There will be a live stream. Same time, same place. Same person that you're going to see every single day on these live streams. It's me. Hope the rest of you have a great, wonderful day. If any of you want to see me after this live stream, you can find me on Zoom, because that's probably where I'm going to go after this, is go onto Zoom and hang out there for a few hours, and then go find something different to do. But until then, guys, you all have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.